Over the past 10 years, the bluefin tuna fishery has been very profitable thanks to high market demand for sushi and sashimi. According to the latest assessment of bluefin tuna stocks in the eastern Atlantic and Mediterranean, increased fishing pressure has caused populations to plummet and spawner biomass to plummet. This fact has caused great concern for the survival of this species. In recent years, the rapid increase in the fleet has been encouraged by the expansion of bluefin tuna fattening cages in the Mediterranean and the increase in fleet capacity, mainly in industrial seine nets. Accounting for 60 to 80% of bluefin tuna caught in this area. Bluefin tuna lives mainly in the pelagic ecosystem of the North Atlantic Ocean and neighboring seas, especially in the Mediterranean Sea. Geographically, its populations are distributed throughout the North Atlantic, above the equator to Norway and from the western Mediterranean to Mexico. Unlike other tuna species, this is the only species that lives permanently in the temperate waters of the Atlantic Ocean. There are two independent populations or stocks of bluefin tuna, a smaller population from the western Atlantic that breeds in the Gulf of Mexico, and a larger population from the eastern part of the Atlantic, which breeds in the eastern Atlantic Ocean, Mediterranean and, formerly the Black Sea, the Mediterranean is the breeding area. Furthermore, it appears that bluefin tuna exhibit return spawning behavior and fidelity to spawning grounds in both the Mediterranean Sea and the Gulf of Mexico, which implies that adults and juveniles, both populations, forage together, especially off the coast. North America and in the mid-Atlantic, electronic tagging studies have shown that bluefin tuna are highly migratory, undertaking two types of migrations throughout their lives: trophic migration in search of food and another spawning migration. To reproduce, when the breeding season begins, the adults always return to the waters where they were born. Therefore, adults born in the Gulf of Mexico migrate to the area in the spring to breed in April to May, while adults born in the Mediterranean Sea return there when they mature in late spring to breed in June to July in the west and central areas. Bluefin tuna has a particularly developed circulatory system, making it a warm-blooded and fast-swimming fish, 72.5 kilometers per hour, with huge migratory abilities. Like other tuna and shark species, Atlantic bluefin tuna are pelagic predators that must swim continuously to ventilate themselves and generate enough heat to maintain vital organs and hypothermia. Body temperature above water temperature. The complex structure of the circulatory system allows it to minimize heat loss and maintain an internal body temperature above that of seawater. Thanks to its ability to absorb heat, it can withstand cold temperatures, 3 degrees Celsius, and warm temperatures, up to 30 degrees Celsius. Atlantic bluefin tuna is a long-lived and slow-growing species. According to the data obtained, the lifespan of the eastern bluefin tuna population was estimated to be about 20 years, while the lifespan of specimens in the western population was estimated to be 32 years according to radiocarbon traces. Adult bluefin tuna specimens can be over 3 meters long, making them the largest and one of the largest tuna species, and weigh an average of 250 kilograms, although some can reach 900 kilograms. Several studies have shown that bluefin tuna reach adulthood at the age of 4 to 5 years in the eastern Atlantic and Mediterranean, while specimens from the western Atlantic population reach adulthood. Sexually mature at about age 8 years. Maturation in the North Atlantic may support the hypothesis of distinct populations. As with most fish species, egg production appears to be age, or size, dependent. Therefore, a 5-year-old female can lay an average of 5 million eggs, approximately 1 millimeter, per year, while a 15 to 20-year-old female can lay up to 45 million eggs. Hatching occurs without parental care after a 2-day incubation period. Bluefin tuna larvae, 3 to 4 mm, are typically pelagic and can be found in surface waters throughout the Mediterranean Sea, with high concentrations in areas with currents and eddies. Especially in late summer. The larvae grow 1 mm per day until reaching a weight of 40 to 80 kilograms and are divided into groups depending on size. These bluefin tuna larvae are found mainly in surface waters with temperatures between 24 and 25 degrees Celsius, in areas where the Atlantic and Mediterranean water masses mix. In the Mediterranean, bluefin tuna spawn during May and August with spawning peaks, depending on weather and oceanographic conditions, during May. Bluefin tuna are caught by trawls, hooks, line, long line, or by traps, fixed traps near the shore, but are mainly caught with tuna purse seines. In the Mediterranean, more than 90% of bluefin tuna catches are made using this method. These industrial fishing vessels are super sophisticated, powerful and fast, with speeds of 16 knots or 50 km per hour, capable of detecting schools thanks to the latest generation of electronic devices. Radar, sonar. They deploy Sendline, a giant net cast in an arc that can cover up to 20 hectares of sea and capture its assigned quota in a matter of days. This method raises questions because it targets large individuals that come to breed in specific areas, especially around the Balearic Islands, Sicily and Malta, over short periods of time, mid-May to mid-July. Not only does it literally empty the marine environment, it also harms non-target and highly endangered species, rays, turtles, sharks, whales, especially since many tuna fishing boats use fish concentrators. FAD, a smart floating system that attracts fish and remotely notifies the vessel about the number of fish present. In this case, bycatch could account for 5% of the total catch. In the Mediterranean, many people believe that industrial purse seine fishing is unfair, as a few large vessels share almost the entire quota to the disadvantage of small vessels that now demand access more resources. Bluefin tuna are also subject to recreational or sport fishing, when affiliated with the Federation, which is strictly regulated with a ban on the sale of fishing products. In 2020, the quota assigned to recreational fishing in France was 60 tons. In Monaco, bluefin tuna fishing conditions are established by sovereign ordinance. International tuna trade has grown exponentially in recent decades. However, is this trend sustainable? A recent report by Alimenta researchers conducted a detailed analysis of the international tuna trade and the trade relationships between the main producing and consuming countries. The report shows a complex and globalized structure, in which up to 132 producing countries and 232 countries or territories participate in the tuna trade network. In addition to their economic importance, overexploitation of some species also raises serious environmental concerns. The growth of global trade, while boosting the economy and meeting consumer demand, can also have a negative impact on species conservation if the entire food chain is not managed sustainably. Solid. The 7 most caught tuna species of greatest economic importance are skipjack, yellowfin, big-eye, albacore, and southern, Pacific, and Atlantic bluefin. Positive. 66% of the main commercial tuna species are caught using seine nets. Other methods used were fishing, 9% of the catch, fishing, 7%, and gill nets.
Ating quality ng isdang hinuhuli dito sa Pacific Ocean, mga kasimahis. Yan, isa-isa po yan. Tingnan niyo, panoorin niyo hanggang dulo.
Affecting long-term sustainability. From 2002 to 2019, global tuna production reached 84.4 million tons. 99.3% of this production comes from fishing products, with skipjack tuna being the most caught species, 55.9%. The Central Western Pacific and Northwest Pacific are key regions for this catch, with Japan and Indonesia leading in catches of temperate and tropical species, respectively. International trade in tuna originated in the early stages of the development of industrial fisheries, becoming one of the most traded marine products. For example, in 2020, global tuna exports accounted for about 10% of the total value of global seafood exports. During the period 2002 to 2019, 12.1 million tons of canned tuna were placed on the market, creating a value of €41 billion. Thailand leads exports, especially to the US, which has become the world's top importer of canned tuna products. For fresh and frozen products, 15 million tons were marketed, worth €28 billion. Spain stands out as the main exporter of these products, while Thailand is the largest importer. Most frozen products are sourced from tropical species, especially skipjack tuna. Trade networks vary depending on the type of product and species involved, with Thailand, Spain and Japan being the major players in the frozen product trade, and Japan, Spain and the United States leads in fresh produce trade. Japan is the world's largest tuna consumption market, consuming more than 9 million tons in the period 2002 to 2019. Asian countries in general account for the majority of world consumption. Spain also plays an important role in consumption, with consumption of 5 million tons, accounting for 5.9% of global tuna consumption. Consumption analysis is complicated by the lack of species data in canned products, making it impossible to distinguish between consumption of tropical and temperate species. However, the consumption of fresh and frozen tuna provides a clear picture of consumer preferences in different regions of the world. Spain is a country that plays an important role in the tuna trade. Its main production areas are the Western Indian Ocean, Northeast Atlantic Ocean, Mediterranean Sea and Black Sea. In terms of trade in canned products, Spain is among the 10 most important countries both in terms of exports and imports. The country's main trading partners in Europe are Italy and France, while in Latin America Ecuador, El Salvador and Guatemala stand out. In the field of trade in frozen products, Spain has significant trade relations with countries in the Indian Ocean and Latin America. As for tropical species, Spain exports mainly to the Mauritius Islands and Ecuador. For temperate species, Spain established important trade relations with Portugal and the Seychelles, and established import relations with the United States and South Africa. Spain is also involved in the trade in fresh products of temperate species, especially in trade with France and Italy. However, commercial activities were observed to compromise traceability. Countries such as Mauritius and Seychelles can act as intermediaries, re-exporting products to other destinations, hindering product traceability. This could affect market integrity and jeopardize the sustainability of tuna species. highlighting the urgent need to improve monitoring and certification systems in the ocean.